7 of the most unusual forests on Earth. Number 1. Quiver Tree Forest. Deserts hardly seem like the appropriate place for a forest, and yet, here we have the Quiver Tree Forest of southern Namibia. Quiver trees are named for their hollowed branches, which have been historically used by bushmen as quivers for their arrows. There are about 250 specimens living in this sparse forest, and the largest individuals in the bunch are between 200 and 300 years old. Number 2. Methuselah Gro. Situated in California's Inyo National Forest, this grove of Great Basin bristlecone pines was named after one of its oldest residents, Methuselah, which is now a whopping 4,847 years old. The species is distinguished not only for its mind-boggling longevity, but also for its gnarled, witch-like appearance. With their stunted looks and surrounding scrubby landscape, visiting a high-altitude forest of these trees is a far cry from your typical forest experience. Number 3. Sunken Forest of Kindy Lake. The sunken forest of Kazakhstan's Kindy Lake is not technically a living forest. This patch of forest once stood on dry land, but that changed in 1911 when an earthquake triggered a landslide of the surrounding slope. The resulting debris flow formed a dam that has been trapping rainwater ever since. Today, the lake is 1,300 feet long, and the trees that once stood in the area have succumbed to rising waters. Over the years, exposure from the elements has reduced the dead trees to mere wooden poles, though remnants of their dense branch systems still exist beneath the surface of the water. Number 4. Deadvlei. Namibia's Deadvlei was once a fertile desert clay pan, but some 900 years ago it began drying up after encroaching sand dunes cut it off from the Tsachab River. The trees that lived within the dwindling marsh eventually died, and though centuries have passed, they have yet to decompose because it's just too dry. Number 5. Avenue of the Baobabs. Situated near the western coast of Madagascar, this Malagasy treasure lays claim to being one of the country's most popular tourists' destinations. The oldest of these towering baobabs date back 800 years. After decades of unchecked deforestation and agricultural development, these thick-trunked trees now stand as stark sentinels overlooking the increasing encroachment of rice paddies and sugarcane fields. Number 6. Crooked Forest. This unnaturally curved grove of 400 pine trees was planted sometime around 1930, just outside the town of Nowzarno in West Pomerania, Poland. Nobody is 100% sure what mechanism caused these trees to form into their odd shape, though it is generally agreed to be the result of human intervention. To this day, the method and tools used to create the crooked forest are unknown, but the reason for their intentional deformation was likely to produce naturally curved timber for furniture and shipbuilding. Number 7. Dragonblood Trees. With their umbrella-shaped canopies, tightly gnarled limbs and freakishly red sap, Yemen's famous dragonblood trees look like something straight out of a science fiction novel featuring alien planets. Sadly, these trees are becoming increasingly vulnerable as the island of Socotra becomes more arid due to climate change.